APC flags off national membership registration exercise in Daura, Castina. January edition of environmental sanitation exercise records appreciable level of compliance. Ogun State government distributes grants to vulnerable women to cushion the effects of COVID-19. WHO criticizes EU's announcement of export controls on vaccines produced within the bloc. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Hello and thanks so much for joining us on the news. I am Bukola Agbakisu. We are starting with politics. The All Progressives Congress APC has flagged off its nationwide membership registration, update and revalidation exercise in Daura, Castina State with President Muhammadu Buhari in attendance. The flag off paves the way for a stakeholder meeting on Monday, February 1, training state and local government supervisors on Tuesday, February 2nd, and training of ward supervisors on Wednesday, February 3rd, while polling youth supervisors will receive their training on Thursday. Meanwhile, the distribution of registration materials and other consumables to registration centers nationwide is ongoing and will end on Monday, February 8th. The consideration of appeals and complaints from the registration exercise will hold February 28th and March 5, while the party will display its membership register at all party wards and local government offices between 6th and 9th of March 2021. The National Registration Committee, led by Niger State Governor Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, will be submitting final report for the constitution of the party's Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee between 10th and 15th March 2021. President Muhammadu Buhari earlier on Friday arrived in Castina State to attend the APC membership registration in his hometown, Daura. Back home now, Ogun State has had its January edition of the monthly environmental sanitation exercise across the state. The exercise recorded an appreciable level of compliance in Abeokuta, the state capital, as residents were seen clearing their drainages and dirt around their premises. Shemiluri Makonjo has the details.
This is the first environmental sanitation exercise in the state in 2021. In Abeokuta, there was appreciable level of compliance, particularly in residential areas of the city. At some of the motor parks, especially around major markets, compliance with environmental laws as put in place by government were adhered to.
It's good for we to be sweeping all the surroundings of our area to be neat and clear. I want them to be sweeping their shops, to be maintaining all their surroundings, to make everything clean in Ogun State.
Operators of motor parks, however, had their parks open to passengers owing to the fact that there was no restriction of movement by the state government. Nigerians were again enjoined to see lack of compliance as an issue of serious health concern. They were advised to make sanitation a regular habit.
The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, in collaboration with the Ogun State Government, has commenced the distribution of 20,000 Naira grants to vulnerable women in the state. Our reporter Ifesholo Ade covered the event held at Urbas Complex, Okemosong, Abeokuta. His reports.
The federal government has over 12 million households benefiting on a monthly basis from several intervention programs such as grants, empowerment, loans, students feeding programs and many more, all targeted at reducing poverty to the barest minimum. The commencement of the one-off grant is aimed at meeting the poorest and most vulnerable women in the country, with Ogun State set to reach out to 3,500 beneficiaries from its 3 senatorial districts. The scheme, according to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk, was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Bashir Nura Al-Khali, is to cushion the economic effects of COVID-19.
Let me, however, reiterate that this money belongs to you and you alone. It is meant for you to use in any small business venture you deem fit, will improve your lives.
Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, in her speech, reiterated the state government's commitment to improving the lives of the people of the state. She, however, enjoined the beneficiaries to seize the opportunity for their sustenance through the pandemic phase.
As I said earlier, this money is not a bonus. It's not money that should be spent frivolously. No matter what our businesses are, we should be able to find one or two things to invest the money in, so that subsequently it can be used to expand our businesses and give us a bit more income.
Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Femi Ogunbabu, called on well-meaning individuals and non-governmental organizations to emulate such philanthropic gestures.
Our government cannot do it alone. Our people should come up with sustainable community-based programs that will enhance the fortune and well-being of the vulnerable in our society.
Some of the beneficiaries were appreciative of the government's intervention program.
Mo ń ta ọjà pure water ti minerals pọ̀ṣá owó náà ló jẹ́ kí n fi ra ọjà mi padà ní ìsìn ọjà mi ni mo máa lọ rà padà.
Nigerians were, however, reminded of taking safety and precautionary measures to guide against the spread of coronavirus in the country. Ife Sholuade, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Ministry of Community Development and Cooperatives has presented certificate to Arepo Community Development Committee in order to enjoy more dividends of democracy. Presenting the certificate, Commissioner in the Ministry, Honorable Ganiyu Amzat, appreciated the community for supporting the government in executing various projects. Idowu Fabajo reports.
Having met the standard of 40 community development areas, Arepo is now qualified to be grouped into Community Development Committee, CDC, and that called for this gathering for the presentation of certificate by the delegates of Ogun State Ministry of Community Development and Cooperatives, led by its Commissioner, Honorable Ganiyu Amzat.
Community Development Association is a government-recognized association, and it is an association that you need to cooperate to work with. You can see that our governor, like the zonal chairman mentioned, recently approved this route, and we need to support that government.
The community was full of joy to receive the delegation with the presence of the Olu of Arepo, Oba Solomon Atanda Olukoyi. After the presentation, the Commissioner, Honorable Ganiyu Amzat, urged the CDC not to relent in community development projects.
The importance of Community Development Association cannot be emphasized, and we have noticed that Arepo CDC, within the last few months, they have been trying to get their own CDC. I will implore them to continue to do more.
He promised them of more support from the state government.
Any location, they will benefit more. That means they will also be involved. They will also get their own subvention or grants. The more CDA you have, and the more they are able to do self-help projects, they will also benefit from that kind of gesture of His Excellency.
I'm very, very happy to have the CDC here in Arepo.
To achieve a better community is the responsibility of all in the society, as government alone cannot do it. Ido Fabaju, OGTV News.
A member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Kolapo Oshusoya, representing Ijebu Central Federal Constituency, has urged public officials to make regular empowerment program of those who elected them a priority. Honorable Oshusoya stated this during the 6th empowerment program with over 1,000 beneficiaries. Our reporter Yusuf Ganiyo witnessed the event held at the Ojude Oba Pavilion in Ijebu, the local government area. His report.
The essence of governance is to impact positively on the lives of the people, hence the need for a member House of Representatives, Honorable Kolapo Korede Oshusoya, representing Ijebu Central Federal Constituency, to fulfill his electioneering promises through the empowerment program as a way of giving back to the people in his constituency. Ojude-Oba Pavilion in Ijebu-Ode local government area hosted the 6th empowerment program of Honorable Kolapo Oshusonya, which attracted dignitaries including some leaders of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun East Senatorial District, royal fathers, market men and women, as well as artisans who have come to identify with the initiatives of Honorable Oshusonya. These were the items provided for over 1,000 beneficiaries, which include generators, television sets, motorcycles, sewing machines, hairdressing machines, fridges, grinding machines, wheelchairs, standing fans, and 20,000 cash each for the widows, amongst others. Honorable Kolapo Oshusonya appreciated the people for their support, adding that the empowerment is to complement the current administration in the state in the area of human capacity development.
I feel elated with it before my political leaders. I give thanks to my governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, that gave me this opportunity to serve the people. And I've done whatever I've tried my best to do for my federal constituency by giving back to them this very day. It's a promise that has been made and it's a promise kept.
Dignitaries at the event lauded the initiative.
It's a very good thing to make a promise and fulfill that promise.
If our honorable men can come back to give us feedback on what is going on yonder at Abuja, we shall not be in that sense. So therefore, I appreciate KKO for what he's doing.
He has again mounted the saddle of Ogun State in the House of Representatives, and is really doing his best to better the lots of his people.
It's quite commendable. The man has shown that he is a good representative of this federal constituency.
The beneficiaries promised to make judicious use of the items.
Oshusonya, he has been promising that if we give him the mandate, he will perform, and we can see that he's performing well.
We like him that he has fulfilled his promise. Ingratitude, they say, is a capital crime. And whoever gives ill returns to his benefactor must needs be a common enemy to the rest of mankind, from whom he has received no obligation. And we are saying thanks very much.
Honorable Oshusonya added that more developmental programs that will have direct impact on the lives of the people of his constituency will be given adequate attention. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
To promote and defend students in Nigeria and also maintain sanity in all universities across the state, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NAS, Ogun Joint Campus Committee has organized a convention to elect new executive members, where Comrade Damilola Simon emerged as the new chairman. Our reporter Olajumoke Oladipupo was there.
Education must be free.
It was another challenge for the student union body, the National Association of Nigerian Students, Ogun Joint Campus Committee, as they organized another election to bring in new executives that would direct the affairs in Ogun State for another tenure. The peaceful election saw Comrade Damilola Kehinde Simeon emerge as the chairman of the National Association of Nigerian Students, Ogun State Joint Campus Committee. He promised a good leadership laced with transparency and also to protect the student struggle.
And I'm using this medium to promise all Nigerian students in the Greater States to embark on meaningful struggles that will better the lot of every Nigerian student within the Ogun JCC axis.
Representing the Ogun State Governor at the convention, Special Advisor to the Governor on Student Affairs, Aziz Amo, appreciate the Governor for supporting the youth thus far in this regard.
Yeah, in Ogun State, it has never been so good and so fair like this in the history of governance in the state. This is the first governor that gives audience, that gives total audience and recognition to student leaders and youths in the state. This is a governor that has come with true mind of restoring the lost glory of the education sector in the state.
In the same vein, the consultant to Ogun State Governor on Media and Publicity, Ife Kayode, commended the election process.
You realize that in Ogun State, since Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun came into power, it has been youth, student-friendly government.
Stakeholders and observers and well-meaning Nigerians who were at the election ground appreciate the Ogun State Governor for his support to education in Ogun State, which has helped in the peaceful atmosphere so far enjoyed by the higher institutions.
I want to charge them to be humble because all power has expiry dates. We want to charge them to be more scientific in approach.
Besides, I want to commend the organizer, the CPC, the convention chairman, and the SA student, and the Ogun State Governor for doing a well-done job in arranging a good leadership for the student movement in Nigeria.
In the history of NAS Ogun JCC, it has never been as peaceful as this before. The electionary process is going on smooth and fair, and we also appreciate His Excellency, Dr. Prince Dapo Abiodun, for putting all security apparatus in place for the smooth conduct of today's election.
Olajumoke Oladipupo, OGTV News.
We'll take a short break now, and when I return, OGTV News continues. The news continues. The wedding ceremony of Faida Otun, the daughter of Ogun State Head of Service Alhaja Selimot Otun and Abdullah Faiz Onikola from Ikirun in Osun State, attracted dignitaries from all walks of life. The State Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, and Chief of Staff to the State Governor, Alhaji Shuaib Salisu, among others, charged the couple to make Almighty Allah the foundation of their home. Let's join Yusuf Ganiu for details.
The banquet hall of Conference Hotel in Abeokuta was the venue for the wedding ceremony of the daughter of the State Head of Service, Alhaja Selimot Otun, in compliance with the COVID-19 protocols, as Faida Olatomiwa Otun and Abdulhafiz Oladayo Onikola tied the nuptial knots. The engagement between Faida Olatomiwa and Abdulhafiz Oladayo witnessed the traditional rite as an indication of promoting the Yoruba culture of the southwestern part of Nigeria. Dignitaries, including Ogun State Deputy Governor Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, Chief of Staff to the State Governor Alhaji Shuaib Salisu, Oyo State Head of Service Alhaja Amidat Agbola, Permanent Secretaries, General Managers, Directors, and a host of others congratulated both families and advised the couple to emulate their parents by establishing goodwill in all they do.
Perception of the Yoruba people and your family in particular. I have no doubt that these children will be worthy ambassadors of their respective family, and they will also be proud inheritors of the legacy that is established by their parents.
I pray that the wedding will be blessed with all the dividend of marriage. They should just do everything to sustain that relationship. They should continue, the husband should love his wife, while the wife should respect her husband. And the couple should also emulate their good parents, because we are also here because of the goodwill of the parents.
Chairman of the occasion, Babatunde Alim, said the couple should be totally submissive to each other, particularly to their creator.
I'm very sure that that was the first thing that I saw. And you saw the quality in her. Don't forget that thing.
Alhaja Selimot Otun and other family members appreciated God for making the day a reality.
For them that they should build this relationship on love. Love is very key in any relationship. They should continue to trust themselves.
To the couple for coming together as husband and wife, their joy knew no bounds. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
here is wishing the couple marital bliss. The new retirement age for teachers, though meant to address the issue of welfare of teachers, must be all thought out and properly considered in order to achieve the desired results. President of All Nigeria Conference of Principals of Secondary Schools in Ogun State, Dr. Ayodele Wumiloju, and a retired secondary school principal, Mr. Olanrewaju Adekunle, stated this while discussing the new retirement age for teachers on an OGTV discussion program, Democratic Path.
We have so many graduates, even in education, that are searching for jobs. Go and look at them. Go to all these mushroom, nursery, primary and secondary. A graduate earning 10,000 and he will not be paid during vacation. But if he has an opportunity to get into the government system, whether you are on vacation or not, your salary will be fulfilled, and so many things will happen to you.
The young graduates are outside who are teaching and they are willing to come into service, especially those ones who read education. Because in the recent times, there have been a lot of urge for our young graduates, especially those of them who want to come into teaching profession, especially when we have been talking about professionalization of the teaching profession. A lot of them have taken interest and have gone into the university to read education. Here in Ogun State, we are lucky that we also have the University of Education.
That the policy is capable of shutting out vibrant youth from joining the education sector in their prime, thereby compounding the nation's unemployment problem. From Kaduna State, the government has approved February 1, 2021 as resumption date for SS3, GSS3 and GSS1 for public and private schools across the state. The reopening of school, it said, followed an extensive appraisal of the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic in the state and series of consultations with relevant stakeholders of both state and federal health and education sectors. The permanent secretary in the State Ministry of Education, Fobe Sokayayi, in a statement said government has also approved primary 6, 5 and 4 of private schools only to resume on the same day. She also disclosed that schools would run shifts to enable them to meet with the guidelines, noting that the first shift will run from 8 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon, while the second shift will be from 1 in the afternoon to 5 in the evening. Sokayayi added that the class size should not exceed 20 students per normal class, with 1.5 meters to 2 meters physical distancing, saying that schools must also have COVID-19 committee, which will comprise of the community representative, health personnel, students and teachers representatives to monitor and ensure compliance. Nigeria has recorded 27 new deaths from the coronavirus, even as the country recorded 1,114 fresh infections on Friday. This was disclosed in a report published by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in the early hours of Saturday. The new cases were recorded in 21 states and the Federal Capital Territory, with Lagos still leading with 408 new infections. The FCT had 95 cases, Plateau 90, Ondo 66, Kaduna 63, Oyo 56, Borno 46, Imo 42, Edo 41, Ogun 37, Rivers 31, Ekiti 25, Yobe 20, Kano and Akwa Ibom 18 each, Delta 15 and Osun 15 also, Kwara 11, Bayelsa and Nasarawa 6 each, Zamfara 4 and Bauchi 1. Members of Eye Confraternity were on 28th of January 2021 arrested by men of Ogun State Police Command for threatening to kill one Teslim Latif for refusing to be initiated into their group. A statement from the Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi, said the suspects, Olajide Shitu, male 32 years, Emmanuel Fidelix, male 29 years, and Sukomi Ifelodun, male 39 years, were arrested following a report lodged at Ajuwon Police Station by Teslim Latif who reported that the three suspects have been threatening to kill him for quite some time now for refusing to be initiated into Eye confraternity despite their persistent appeal to him. He stated further that they promised to eliminate him since he has known them to be members of the group so that he will not expose them. On the strength of the report, the DPO at Juwon Divisional Police SP Andrew Akinsheye, who has been monitoring the suspects, led his men to the hideout where the three suspects were apprehended. They all have confessed to be members of Eye Court's group and have been recruiting more members into their fold. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Awolowo Ajogu, has ordered the transfer of the suspects to State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department for discreet investigation. The CP also wants cultists in the state to make use of the opportunity given them by the command to renounce their membership of those evil groups before the long arm of the law caught up with them. And before I go on the news, let me quickly serve this one, that the World Health Organization has criticized the EU's announcement of export controls on vaccines produced within the bloc, saying such measures risked prolonging the pandemic. And before I go on the news, remember, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. And don't forget that you can watch us live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And that was the news. Thanks so much for watching. Social and community news comes up next. Don't go away.